Welcome to Podcast Sound Advice, the place for up-to-date podcast tactics and trends. You'll find actionable strategies to help you grow your audience, expand your influence, and monetize your content. Join Phyllis and Kelvin for Podcast Sound Advice starting now.
Hi, it's Phyllis with Sound Advice Strategies, and today I'm talking trends. What's the future of podcasting, and how can you take advantage of the way things are changing? There have been a couple of pretty big moves in the past few weeks. First was the big announcement when Joe Rogan signed his deal back in May with Spotify. His full library, dating back 11 years and ongoing episodes in the future, obviously, will be exclusive to Spotify beginning September 1st. Here's the Wall Street Journal quote. Joe Rogan is taking his podcast exclusively to Spotify in a licensing deal worth more than $100 million, according to a person familiar with the matter, end quote. Now, his podcast is considered the most downloaded podcast in history. It's been around for 11 years and it's still very popular. It's no small feat. And now if you want it, you're going to have to use the Spotify app, at least starting September 1st. And $100 million? That's a ton of money. Clearly, Spotify anticipates a big payoff over a long period of time. Spotify was also in the news last week with the debut of the Michelle Obama podcast. It launched on July 29th and, again, exclusive to their platform. Her first guest was President Obama, which I think is a great get for your first interview. The next thing that we heard about was from Libsyn. That's where we host our podcast and we recommend our clients to host. They have an agreement with Amazon Music /Audible. And at this point, they're just recommending that you submit your show. And Libsyn's got a little setup right on the website where you can submit your show to be put on the Amazon Music /Audible platform. It's not happening yet, and they did not have a date. They just said, go ahead and get everything ready. They do expect that the podcasts that have been submitted will be part of that platform when Amazon Music launches their podcast collection. Why would any of this matter to you? Well, because the industry is growing up, and while most of us are never going to be Joe Rogan or Michelle Obama, it is important, or have podcasts like them, I should say. It's important to understand how you can benefit. Some people have compared the growing up part of podcasting to blogging, and I get it because they're both online driven content, but I think the better comparison is Netflix. They created streaming, well, not the technology, but they created the business model, right? They went out and they found a bunch of content that already existed, said we're going to put it on this platform and we're going to make it easy and cost effective for consumers to pick and choose what they want in a cost effective way. Amazon later got in the game with Prime Video, right? Same concept. We're going to make it easy. Again, they went out and got access to a lot of content that was already created and said, we're going to make it easy for people to access this at mass scale. Now, interestingly, both Spotify and Amazon and others are also now creating, and Netflix too, are creating original content, right? So there are original shows that Amazon is actually producing. Netflix is doing the same thing. So they're moving a step beyond going, hey, here's this pool of good content. Now we're going to make our own good content and put it on our own platform. Disney obviously has just done the same thing. Instead of getting royalties from Netflix for having their movies on that platform, they decided, well, we'll just take the whole pie, right? We'll have our own platform. People will pay and they'll access it there. This is a little hybrid of where I see podcasts going. It's going to be a collaboration, I believe, between creators and distributors. And I think advertisers and sponsors are looking to be part of that as well. Now, we all love Netflix because there's no ads, there are no commercials. And I think sponsors and advertisers are going to find different ways to do it instead of having that, I think, a commercial all the time. And I think that's part of what's coming in future changes. One of the good things is that I think there are going to be a lot more options for small independent podcasters like me, maybe like you, to take advantage of the increased access and the increased ability to get your content in front of more people. If you're thinking about podcasting or considering it as an option, now is the time. And if you'd like some information to help you get started, just email podcast@soundadvicestrategies.com. And Let us know you'd like the podcast resource guide and we'll send it to you for free. It goes over everything you need to know to get yourself started. And of course, I'll keep you posted on the best ways to grow your audience and monetize your content. Till next time, this is Phyllis with Sound Advice Strategies. Happy podcasting.
That's our wrap for this episode. We hope you found today's sound advice helpful. Let us know what you think by leaving us a review. You can get more resources at podcastsoundadvice.com. Until next time.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM. Women's voices amplified.